Hi everyone, it's me Naima, aka Lustily, and I'm here to finally talk about this herbal business that I've started and my journey my journey to become an herbalist, you guys. This is like a long awaited video and I made one previously, but this is gonna tell you the real story. Let's just get into it. I already got my matcha tea. It's like almost melted. I actually make an iced matcha. I love matcha, you guys. This is probably one of my favorite drinks, like of all time. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I started my own herbal tea line and where it's at, where it's possibly going, and the story about how I got here. So, quick intro about me. I am an herbalist from New York City, which is hilarious because New York City barely has any plants, but we have some. Central Park makes sense, right? And to be honest, one of the things that started me off on my herbal journey is having and experiencing probably one of the worst periods of my life back in 2020, 2022 era. Those periods that I was experiencing, I know this is like touching on a really personal topic, but having and being a woman and going through the most excruciating period along with the other side effects that goes along with having severe form of PMS like I do, like I was suffering from then, was dealing with things like bloating, irritability, tenderness, mood issues because of the hormones going up and down. And one of the things that I had came across on my search for herbal remedy was, should you try BC? Go and get some, from that. But I really didn't want to go the route of putting anything chemical in my body just because of how sensitive I already was from dealing with having and experiencing such excruciating PMS for so long. And that led me to one of the best things, which was red raspberry leaf. And red raspberry leaf turned into me learning even more about plant medicine and really taking in also from my own personal background of being, West Indian. If you're a person who is also like Caribbean, West Indian, like I am, or, everybody has their own form of traditional medicine, especially whether you look at Chinese medicine, but West Indian medicine specifically, I can speak from along with like Southern American, like Americans from the South. That's one of the things that I really had to like tap into of learning, wanting to learn about herbs, of hearing growing up of things about like taking sour sop and drinking it. We also have this delicious drink in my culture called sorrel, and that is hiccupus, as we call it in America. And it's probably one of the best teas out there for you. There's so many different herbal remedies that I thought of growing up, and it led me to like it's in a sense of like, even cinnamon can be seen as an herb. They're literally herbs that we interact with on a daily basis. And it's just knowing the art of blending those herbs so that you can have and be so that you can target those parts of the body that you're looking for. So one of the things that really led me to that was my background. It led me to being even more curious about herbs and getting myself better. That was the main focal point. And along the route, I learned so much about plant medicine, about red raspberry leaf, black cohosh, all of these things that really targeted what I was going through as a woman, not really knowing alternative to helping me with, things like lifestyle, taking care of myself, soothing, whatever it is, that type of self-care. I just didn't have access to it because I didn't learn it yet. And that was one of the biggest wake up calls for me of dealing with the severest form of PMS and coming across these herbs that I put it into a tea, and literally within the next few hours, I was fine. And that's one of the things that really drives me personally to share the herbs that naturally grow that we all have access to, but maybe we're just not cognizant of, wow, this is what this herb can do. So that's one of the things that led me to learning more about herbs, foraging, getting out there. And although I live in a major city like New York, foraging is super popular here. And although I live in like a really large city like New York, foraging is definitely an option still. And having those excruciating periods and not really know an option, that's one of the worst feelings out there. And I desire for the future of women's health to be more, to be having, to have more research on it, to have more research on all of the things that make us whole. But we definitely are going to need some changes. Anyways, basically, if we're going to be honest, the health system, and to be quite honest, I did not have the full, and to be quite honest, I really decided to go the traditional medicine route because of experiences of not being seen and heard, especially as a woman of color. We're literally the foundation of what it means to have modern day OBGYNs. If you really know the history on that, I can make an entire video about OBGYNs and how the history of gynecology in America. We can also talk about so many different things about just healthcare in general. But that's another video for another thing. And honestly, one of the biggest things and deciding factors was dealing with the most worst experience of being afraid to go to the OBGYN because of the fact that I didn't know if I'm going to go through this whole spiel about them not knowing what to do in order to help me. And that's one of the biggest realities as a woman, especially as a woman of color, Black woman, living in America right now, because of the fact that the access to knowledge about our own reproductive systems, scientific knowledge is lacking still. And that's one of the things that caused that I decided to focus on building a business that is surrounded by and made for women who are in similar situations to me. Dang, I'm starting to get emotional. But yeah, my business is definitely for everyone. We also have products for men, but the main focal point is women's health and helping them with, like, if you need some, herbal tea, or if you would like a gummy to help you with your pain, or if you want to take a tea break. That's really what I focus on when it comes to the wellness aspect, and also running a business that does have, hemp derived products and options too, because I believe that cannabis is also an herb and I treat it as such. So as an herbalist, that's a mouthful, but as an herbalist, I was very skeptical at first when it came to herbs. And my first time taking red raspberry leaf tea, because of dealing with the most debilitating, excruciating period of my life, really came about by my own experiences with herbalists in the past, and how doctors in America are able to help you for things that, happen, yes, but herbalists are there to help you to prevent the things and those small things that you can't really get help from a doctor sometimes. So I'm not saying that I'm here to cure anyone or to blame anyone or anything like that, but that's just one of the things that personally led me to this road of becoming an herbalist, of getting the wellness brand, making my own tea blends, and making products that are high quality. A lot of people, when I was first starting out, were definitely like skeptical of, like, what is this girl doing going to all of these CBD events, cannabis events? And truth be told, the line for wellness and the need for wellness is there. The state that I live in, it's just like waiting for businesses like mine who are ready to help with like herbalism and wellness. You're going from a corporate background to now working in, this different industry that's traditionally been, it's new. Basically, it's an entirely new industry. And herbalism and wellness, I feel like that's definitely going to be the future. That's just me. I've been right about a few things. Crochet, I got crochet, like I got yarn here, you guys. Everybody's wearing crochet and yarn pieces. You're going to see an increase of people wanting to be herbalists or getting into herbs. I hope that herbalism and wellness save the planet, because we need it. And a lot of the reasons why I decided, one of the reasons that, people were skeptical was because, like, I'm this person who just went from like this corporate background, and I decided to attend. And that honestly, along with me trying, herbal teas for the first time and getting into herbal remedies, that's what led me to this road of becoming an herbalist for myself. And it definitely was a lot of skeptics at first, but family and friends definitely are been one of the biggest supporters, thank God. And I'm super grateful to have the support of you all and also people who know me well and also are a part of my life. And I'm so grateful to have, people who are supporting like you guys online and off. One of the things that has led me down this road of becoming an herbalist is just been understanding what it means to run a business. And as someone who started a business before they went into college, I believe that's true. So I started my business a few months before I started college, just filed the LLC, didn't really touch it, which is like super weird, I know. But I didn't touch the LLC. Then I wound up utilizing an LLC once I figured out what I wanted to actually do with the business. And along this route of starting a business, I can definitely say learning while doing has been the biggest thing for me. And that's something that's, I feel like a lot of people would be a lot more skeptical about doing when it comes to running a business. Whether or not I would have been going to school for business administration or computer science is what I actually wound up majoring in. It would have taken computers is actually what I wound up majoring in. But along this route, if I would have chosen any other type of degree, including an MBA, it would have still been the exact same process of, finding the right people to work with, having the difficulties of working with the wrong people, rejection, and then also getting the success of having so many customers come. So, one of the things that have led me to this point has been just developing and learning the systems in real life experientially. I think that's it, the word. But like experimenting and understanding things, choosing to experiment with different things in terms of business, learning the right people to learning the right things to do in terms of business, and a whole lot of networking as someone whose background is in both technology and in also in wellness. Like those two things, some people think that they don't meet. Personally, I think that they do meet because of the fact that a lot of people, and including myself, go to the internet. We're all online. We're all looking for a way to, help you with the little things. And so, wellness and technology, I definitely see wellness and technology are going to be super important to our future and to what it means to be human in the future. Of course, we're all already, majority of us are already wearing, Apple Watches. They want us to have cyborg chips in the future. Personally, I just want to, have herbs. Yeah, one of the biggest reasons as to why I became an herbalist has just been wanting to improve my overall health. And I personally know that I am not alone on this journey to, wanting to better myself, wanting to, get the pain to subside, even to, ease the discomfort that I felt at that time. And one of the ways that I did it was with herbs. And I'm here on social media to really share that with you guys and also teach you how to build a brand in the meantime. So definitely tap into learning more about my journey as an herbalist. And really, I already know that it resonates with the right people because so many of us are women are like suffering in silence. And truthfully, I wanted to be there to inspire hopefully other women to, learn more about our bodies, learn more and do the research that we need. Because at the end of the day, I'm a person who loves science. Dang, I'm about to start crying. I'm so passionate. Okay. At the end of the day, I am a computer scientist. I'm a scientist in general, and it's necessary to understand the physics of how things work as well as the properties that make them work. That's one of the things that really inspires me as an herbalist and has really pulled me forward on my journey. So I thank all of you for. And so this is basically one of the reasons why I became an herbalist. Bit of a long video, hopefully not too long, but I also, just started reading books that made me want to choose herbalism and learning more. I'm at a point now where I'm able to identify over probably a few thousand varieties of plants and herbs. So this is where I am. I'm also getting into learning more about how to identify mushrooms, but this is what I've been doing. We're going to see where the next few years take us as, science and herbs and, wellness and tech. We going to see how it all plays out. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and just really share my spiel, and I hope that this video resonates with the right people at the right time. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think and keep up with me, and also make sure that you guys are also grabbing and checking out. I am going to be coming out with a few more ebooks in the future about how to build on social media, how to build out a business. And if you would like to work with me one-on-one coaching, I do business coaching, which is a little bit different than wellness coaching. But if you need help with like growing your business or consulting on anything with branding, I'm your girl. So make sure you guys check out all of the books that I have, as well as the links in the description. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.